Hi, my name is George, and I'm going to be talking about the urban scale view and looking at Los Angeles as a city as a whole. So in terms of the climate of Los Angeles has a mild Mediterranean climate. However, it can get pretty hot during the summers. In terms of rainfall, Los Angeles is a pretty dry area, but during the winter time, it experiences a significant increase in rainfall. And Los Angeles is a pretty dry area with the humidity levels aren't very high. An interesting feature about the climate of Los Angeles is that LA is bordered by the coast on one side and mountain ranges on the other side, and so it has several microclimates. And so as you in areas that are close to the coast, they tend to be cooler, and as you move away from the coast into these into the desert areas, um, the climate tends to be uh, hotter and drier. So in terms of wind patterns, wind goes impacts Los Angeles from all four directions, northeast, south, and west. An interesting wind pattern are these Santa Ana wind paths, which blow from the northeast, and these winds are they blow from the desert area, and so they blow um, very hot wind, which can cause areas of heat waves as well as um, they're very strong, and so they can cause structural damage as well too. So in terms of climate change, Los Angeles is a city that's going to be expected to be impacted heavily by climate change. It's especially expected to be impacted by rising temperatures. And so it's estimated that the average temperature in California could increase about 4.5 to 6 degrees Fahrenheit by 2050. And so that's expected to happen in the northern area close to San Bernardino, as well as the arid desert areas as well too. Also, because of an increase in temperatures due to climate change, because Los Angeles is close to the coast, um, there is expected to also be some significant areas that could be flooded if temperatures increase about 4 degrees Fahrenheit. So in terms of environmental risks, some of the major environmental risks that impact Los Angeles are wildfires in these dry areas that have a lot of vegetation, as well as flooding close to rivers and the coast. And earthquakes are um, especially prevalent in Los Angeles because there are two major fault lines that run through Los Angeles. In terms of I also provided a diagram that shows the like a general plan zoning diagram. And so near a site, it's expected to be low density and medium density homes. And as you move closer to the downtown area, there's more medium density residential areas. And as you in the downtown area, it's primarily commercial industrial, and um, Long Beach tends to be in the south is where most of the industrial areas are. So the income levels in Los Angeles, the income tends to be higher near the coast, and um, the income levels tend to decrease as you move into the downtown area. I would say the area near our site tends to be a below medium income level to a medium income level. So in terms of the demographics of Los Angeles, LA is a very diverse city. There's a lot of representation from many different types of races. Near our site, there's a significant Hispanic and an African American population as well. So that was my section, and thank you for listening.
Hi, this is Lucy Taylor presenting the neighborhood scale portion of our site context research for the Los Angeles site at 4312 Degnan Boulevard. The median household income for this area is roughly $60,000 per year, which is a bit lower than the national median income of $74,000 per year. In sharp contrast to that is the average house price for the area, which is $760,000 compared to a national average home price of $342,000. Our site is located in the neighborhood referred to as Leimert Park. The neighborhood is predominantly female, predominantly of African American race. Of the households with children, most are single parent, and there are more 16-year-old school-age residents in the neighborhood than other school-age children. This is information about property types and household sizes. The predominant property type in the area is multifamily residential or apartments, followed by single-family homes, and then retail. Land use and zoning shows our site in a neighborhood commercial area, which by the Los Angeles City Planning Department, which means the commercial uses should serve the neighborhood residents. This is information about the history of the area. For the past several decades, Leimert Park has been considered a hub of African American arts and culture, but it wasn't always that way. Originally built in the 1920s, it was developed as a master-planned white middle-class community. Today, as the Metro line includes a new stop in the neighborhood, Leimert Park is at a crucial moment in its history. Business owners and stakeholders struggle to keep the area's cultural heritage as the increase in real estate interest due to the infrastructure improvements threatens to push the residents out of their neighborhood. Some information about the neighborhood culture. Leimert Park has a really inspiring history of civic activism and community engagement. Its residents are actively involved in preserving the neighborhood's heritage, buildings, and landmarks. It's also home to a variety of jazz clubs, theaters, and cultural institutions, such as the World Stage. Here is some information about two of the neighborhood's outdoor amenities, the Leimert Plaza Park and the People's Plaza, which is a walk street adjacent to the park. Both of these are within a half a block site. Here's some information about the neighborhood infrastructure and transportation. Leimert Park is the location of the newest station on within the Los Angeles Metro transit system. It is part of the K line, which terminates at Los Angeles International Airport. And there is some information about the predominant means of transportation for the residents, and that remains to be by automobile. And here is some additional information about the neighborhood's schools that are already existing, and also the typical education levels and school enrollment for the area.
Hi, my name is Ryan Case, and I'm going to take you through our site study of Leimert Park, located in Los Angeles, California. Now, the proposed site is an existing parking lot, and that existing parking lot resides in the commercial heart center of Leimert Park. Now, this commercial heart center is home to local restaurants, art galleries, and essentially businesses that serve the greater good of the surrounding neighborhoods. As you can see here, highlighted in pink is the commercial centers, and just outside of that, highlighted in yellow, is zoning for residential. The commercial center really is the focal point of this community, as everything seems to trickle or funnel into this area. And it's not just the focal point, it's the meeting area. It's where people come to gather in the community. And the proposed site really sits in the heart of all that. You can see here in the sun study that there is optimal light for this proposed location. The neighboring buildings are fairly low, except for the south-facing building, which is the Vision Theater. It does propose some obstacles for the site, getting some of that southern sun exposure, but generally, this is a great site for lots of natural light in the summer, spring, fall, and winter. As you can see here in this sun study, you can see the shadows that are reflected from the Vision Theater onto the site. And typically you see it get worse when that sun is lower in the sky during December. Looking at the topography of the site, there isn't any elevation gain. Just outside of that, in the southwest corner, where the suburbs are expanding out to, we see the topography and the elevation gain grow. That might influence water to come down into the flat areas. Now, FEMA hasn't recognized a 50 or 100-year flood zone, but they are calling out a 500-year flood zone in this area just north and east of the site. One of the big highlights of the local vegetation in the area is the range of diversity in the species of trees. Trees ranging from pine trees to the Mexican fan palm tree. You can see here too that a lot of the mediums are planted with vegetation, including succulents. Looking at the architecture of Lemaire Park, in the neighborhood area specifically, we see a lot of Spanish bungalows that were built in the 1930s. In the downtown area, we see more art installations and some of the local businesses like the World Stage that are really promoting art and the preservation of the cultural heritage of the area. The Vision Theater, built in 1931, is truly a landmark for the area as it sticks out and really represents where Lemaire Park came from. Some of the future developments of Lemaire Park include the Crenshaw Plaza redevelopment up at the mall, some mixed-use apartments throughout the area, and a art installation known as Destination Crenshaw that will run through Crenshaw Boulevard and be a really great place for residents to see local art and attract tourism.
This is a summary of the scale research and key takeaways from that. At the urban scale level, we know that Los Angeles has a fairly mild climate, but it is also affected by environmental risks and climate change. Based on our site location, hot summers, earthquakes, and potential floods are risks that could impact our site. The area surrounding our site is predominantly residentially zoned and occupied by medium and low income residents. At the neighborhood scale, our site's neighborhood is governed by the community plan for the West Adams, Baldwin Hills, Lemaire community plan, which is part of the jurisdiction of the Los Angeles City Planning Department. The zoning of our site is designated neighborhood commercial, which stipulates that any development on our site should have a neighborhood serving commercial purpose. The neighborhood is currently the site of extensive infrastructure construction, including the mass transit projects, which brings with it a threat of increased gentrification. The neighborhood is historically and culturally significant, and therefore it is sensitive to development. The neighborhood residents and tenants are engaged and politically proactive and invested in preserving their community. At the site scale, we know that our site is located at the historical heart of Lemaire Park. The site has a strong diversity of tree canopy, but could also use additional green areas for rainwater runoff and retention. And future development of mixed residential apartments will greatly increase the population in the near future, and therefore create a need for additional classrooms to accommodate this.
Hi, my name is Karam Yohana. I'm presenting my section of the group project. Our project site located at 4312 Dignan Boulevard in Los Angeles, California. The site is a vibrant architectural canvas that offers a challenging design opportunity for us as young architects. In my section of work, I will discuss 3 different items. One of them is 3D site views, sun path analyses during solstice, and shadow studies of the sites itself. The first page showing right now shows the 3D site view of a semi-triangular shape with a 3D isometrics that shows all the major perspective isometrics: northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. This unusual form inspires a creative spatial design, and it's challenging us to work with it and getting the best out of it, basically. Creating a 3D map of the local structure surrounding it, it helps us to imagine the site and inspire us to design a new project that fits within the environment, history, and the architectural style. Another aspect of the study is the solar path analysis. The sun annual path is examined throughout the year with a sun path map showing winter and summer solstice. This will guide our design and natural light optimization during the development of the project. The sun trajectory at the summer and winter solstice shows how the light varies within the seasons. For example, in the summer, the northern directions illuminate outdoor spaces, while the winter solstice help us to choose the best energy-saving design strategy. The third part of the study is a shadow study, which shows how nearby structure casts shadow on our future building and help us to choose the right design to avoid or use the shadow in our design. For sure, shadow studies are crucial to our site contents research by revealing how light and shades are interacting together. Our shadow analysis illustrate how present and surrounding structure can create shadow or cast shadow on our site, so we can locate the construction in the correct lighting and use the sun route to make it healthier or more efficient. Thank you so much.